Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be learning about pixels and density independent pixels. So now in the previous tutorial we have created a basic simple layout which has a edit text, and we have named the edit text as username, and also we have the background which is designed by using the relative layout, and we also have a button on it. So basically in this tutorial what we are going to do is that we want to change the size of this edit text right over here. So now one thing which you could do in order to change the size of this is you could simply go here and you could just simply type in the username, which is nothing but the edit text name. So we could type username, and in order to set its width you could simply use the set width method. So we could have typed username dot set width, and it could have set the width for you. But the main issue with this method is that it only accepts the parameters in the pixels value. Now the major problem with using pixels in your Android application is that when you're running an application onto some different devices, so the thing is that every device has a different number of pixels onto its screen. So the thing is that the size of your widget depends upon the number of pixels your device has. So for example, if your device has a large number of pixels, then your widget is going to look small on it. So basically we want to avoid using pixels, and instead of using pixels we are going to go with the density independent pixels, which is also called as DIPs. Now DIP stands for density independent pixels, and these pixels are basically used so that our app looks the similar in each and every device and is independent of the pixel density of that particular device. So in this tutorial our main purpose would be to learn how we could convert the density independent pixels to pixels so that we could use the pixels in the set width method. So let's start with the tutorial. So the first thing which we need to do is that we need to import some packages. So we type import android.content.res.resources, and we are going to need one more package. So we type import android.util.typedValue. Now if you don't understand for what purpose we have used these packages, then you simply hold on, you'll understand it later on. So now once you have added the imports, the next thing which we do is that we go right here, and the next thing which we want to do is that we want to now convert the density independent pixels to pixels. So but before that we are going to need to create the resource object, and the resource object is basically used in order to get the resources which are associated with our device. So we type resources, let's name the variable as R, and we type equals get resource, and this get resources method is actually used in order to get the resources which are associated with your device. Now the major thing which we are trying to achieve here is that we want to convert the DIPs to pixels. So in order to do that we are going to need a set of methods, and the methods which we want to use is going to be the typed value dot apply dimension. So we type type value dot apply dimension, and this method is going to accept three parameters. The first parameter is going to be consisting of the unit which we are going to translate. The next parameter is going to be the number of units which we want to translate, and the third parameter is going to be the display matrix. So let's go ahead and add up the first parameter. So the first parameter is going to be the unit in which we want to convert. So we type typed value complex unit DIP, and that's what is going to be the first parameter. Now the next parameter is going to be the number of pixels which we want to translate. So let's say 200, and the third value is going to be the resource. So we type R, which is nothing but the object which we have created right over here, and then we use a method which is called as the get display matrix. So this get display matrix method is basically going to get the display, and it is going to use these three parameters in order to calculate the pixel value for us. Now once this is done, what we do is that we want to save this result into something, and this result is going to give us the actual pixel value which we want to use. Now in order to save it, we create a variable called pixels. So we type int, and let's name the pixel variable as px, and then we equate it to this. But the main issue in this is that this variable right here is going to accept integer value, so we need to use typecasting over here. So we type here int, and it is going to translate the value into integer for us. Now once this line of code is done, we have successfully converted the density independent pixels, which are 200 density independent pixels, and we have converted them into a pixel value. Now we could go ahead and use this pixel value in the setWidth method in order to set the width of this edit text right here. So in order to do that, we use the edit text name, which is nothing but the username. Then we give a dot operator, and then we use the setWidth method. So we type setWidth, and inside it we pass on the value of pixels. So we type px into the parameter section, and once we are done with this, we simply save the code. And now in order to check if our application performs correctly, we run it on the emulator. So as you could see, our application is up and running onto the emulator, and as you could see, we have successfully increased the size of the edit text, and as you could see, we have successfully converted the density independent pixels value to the pixels value, and as a result we are able to see the change in width of the edit text box. So that's it for this tutorial, and in this tutorial we have learned how we could convert the density independent pixel value into the pixel value. Now we will also understand the basic intention of converting the density independent pixels to pixels. So basically what happens is that the setWidth method, which we have used in this application or in this tutorial, is basically going to accept only the pixel values. And the thing is that the problem with using the pixel value is if you use pixel values, then your application layout is going to change from device to device, and that is because different devices have different number of pixels onto their screen. Now in order to avoid that issue, what we have done is that we have used the density independent pixels, which are also called as DIPs. So as the name signifies, DIPs or density independent pixels are independent of the density of your phone. So for example, if your phone is densely populated with pixels, or if it is not densely populated or it is less populated, it is not going to make much difference, and your layout is going to stay consistent on each and every device. So that's why we convert the density independent pixels into pixels, so that we could use them and our interface stays the same on any of the device. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.